Welcome to another IoT intro video. I'm your host Ulno. Today we will talk about PlatformIO as an alternative to the Arduino IDE, and we all have started our microcontroller projects with Arduino IDE, and it's a good platform to get used to it, but I will show you today that there are other options, and if you want to take it a step further, you will have to consider working with that. As an example today, I will work with an Wemos D1 Mini, and I will just put a button on there, and I will try to install a PubSub client for connecting to MQTT and then getting the button press visible on the screen. I'm here logged in to our IoT Empower gateway where the Mosquito server is already running, and so we'll just use this gateway as a Mosquito MQTT's broker to actually communicate with. And we will see all messages arriving there here, so I hope in a very short time I can show you how to send messages based on the button press here. In Arduino IDE we would start now actually downloading PubSub client, but as promised I will show you the way in PlatformIO. So we will close this. How do we get to PlatformIO? As usual, we can just Google it and type in PlatformIO, and then if you look at install PlatformIO, you see here download Visual Studio Code, and then PlatformIO is an IDE extension. So it's not completely right. So it's basically PlatformIO runs independently from the IDE you are using, but it's very easy to get it into your system when you start with Visual Studio Code. So as it says, the easiest way is just in Visual Studio Code to find the extension. So let's close this and let's move to Visual Studio. And in Visual Studio, you go to extensions and you search for platform. And then if you search for platform or PlatformIO, you see here the IDE. And then you need to say install, but it's already installed here. So I can skip this step. You can just press on install, and then you have it. And if you install it correctly, then you see here on the left this little alien. And this is the logo of PlatformIO. So first you have to create a new project in there. So then you go, you see this homepage here. And on this homepage from PlatformIO, you can work with libraries and do different things. But we just want to create a new project. And we call it MQTT button. And then this is a Wemos. Let's see which Wemoses we actually have here. Oh, careful, it shows a lot of the ESP32s. Ours is an ESP8266. And here we usually use this Wemos D1 RT2N Mini. So that's the one we need. As you see here, it actually downloads this automatically for you, so you don't have to pick any kind of package to install it. And so we have basically 600 different boards now at our service without dealing a lot with finding where these boards are coming from. Here you can only have, and so you have the Arduino framework here, but you can also do kind of the other ESP platforms. But as we are using it as an alternative to the Arduino IDE, we pick and leave the Arduino framework sitting here. Then we have to trust this. And as you see, it creates a lot of infrastructure already for here on the site. So let's just take a look at the source folder. And if we open the main folder, this should remind you all of what we have in Arduino IDE as the default. Just the only difference is that here we actually include Arduino.h. This is basically the bridge to the Arduino framework, which the Arduino framework knows and just puts for it in the Arduino IDE. And as you see, we have here CPP and not an INO file. So here, as we are using real C++, we need to include the bridge to the Arduino framework. But then we have the classic setup and loop structure that we know from there too. But of course, if you want to connect to some network port or some MQTT broker, we need a library to do that. Same as in the Arduino IDE, we will have to look for the library. This you can do here under libraries, and you click here on libraries. And so as I said, I want to have the PubSub client. Or actually, maybe we don't know, we can just search for MQTT. And then you see it suggests actually the first one. And the nice thing is here actually says how often it has been downloaded. So you get a little bit about how trustworthy or how much it is used by the community. As you see, PubSub client is pretty popular. And the async TCP library too. We will pick this one. Then you can say you want to add this to your project. And then we don't need to say which project, our MQTT button, and then we add this here. And apart from the main file, you also have another important file in PlatformIO, which is the PlatformIO.ini, and you see all the changes I make are already in here. So it has the library in here, and you can, if you install more libraries, it will put it in here. And the nice thing is actually the library is now bound to the project. So sometimes libraries are getting in its way of each other, but here the system manages the libraries per project for you. So we are just bound the MQTT library just to our MQTT button project. So let's now go back quickly to the library view, because here is where you find the classic examples. So you're in the library, and here you can pick all the examples from it. And so we want the ESP8266 example. I will just copy it from here. So. And then I will put it into the source, and I have to add it after the Arduino include. Or this doesn't look nice, so we can move the Arduino include in the beginning here. So we want to talk actually to the button, and we want to connect to our Wi-Fi network. Let's kind of quickly check that we are connected to the IoT gateway. Yeah, IoT Empower My Own is there connected. So let's put in here IoT Empower My Own, IoT Empower On, and the password is IoT Empire. There's a default broker that you can do for testing, which is in here, but we are using our own. So we will just make a sandbox test topic. No, this is the server. Sorry, this is 192.168.12.1. It's going to be IP number, or we can also use IoT gateway here. Take IoT gateway. Then let's see which topic we are writing to. So callback, this is when we wait for a message, but we want to basically talk with the server here. I know that by default, PlatformIO speaks with 9600 baud. You can actually change that in the PlatformIO. Let's see if monitor speed. So if you want to talk in 115, you have to set. And then we can actually use here this speed. So this is all okay. Here we have the loop, but also in the setup, we say we want to talk to the button. So, and then you see the nice thing how it suggests here how this command is. So I type in pin mode. I sometimes forget it's first the pin and then the mode, or but it shows here clearly the help already when you type it in. So you get a little bit the nice things of a powerful IDE at your service. So again, we take actually, no, not built-in LED. We will take here the button on D3. This is an input pull-up. And you see it really nicely supports all this right out of the box. So in the loop, we will publish some messages, and instead of here every 2 seconds to publish the hello world message, we are rewriting that in actually the output of the button. So we have to basically read here, add something, do an int button state, and too much AI going on here. So digital read, we read from D3 the input state into the int. We will add here the button to it, button state. And then we publish this. Let's check the out topic quickly. Where is the out topic? So we don't know where the out topic is defined. We are in, it's not a variable. So usually you can just click on the variable and then it prints, then it jumps to the definition. So that's a nice thing you can do in PlatformIO. But here out topic is a clear topic. So we can just say this is our sandbox test here. So when we save it, now we can compile it. This is kind of sometimes a bit hard to find in the beginning. So you have here the build, if you just want to verify. So it's down here in the bottom where you have the check is for build, and this is for actually uploading it. Then you say upload, it auto detects usually the port where you want to upload it. And this is not supposed to happen. Oh, I think I know what is wrong. After intense thinking and a couple of days later, we remembered that, of course, we always have to check that we're connected to the Wi-Fi, but we also have to remember the passwords we gave for the Wi-Fi. So default password is always IoT Empire, but if we change it to IoT Rocks, we should change it to IoT Rocks. Let's see if this one flashes and then connects. Doesn't do. Maybe we need to connect it correctly to our computer and try it again. So make sure you plug it all in. The nice thing is usually PlatformIO finds the port automatically. So now let's see what it is doing. And see, this time the Wi-Fi is connected and here it sends the button state. So let's just first look what it shows in the terminal. If I press the button a couple of times, it doesn't show any change. However, it should publish even the button state 0, but we have to debug why it doesn't do that. So let's kind of quickly look what is coming through. So you see the publishing actually works. We were just not smart enough to read out the button state. So let's look what is going on with the button state here. Yeah, we are reading this into button state, but we're adding just the value and nothing else. So we're doing a classic C mistake because there is not checked which parameters we are actually putting in there. So let's add the button state here and write it again. And now we are connected and we get the button state of 1. And let's press it down and then becomes 0. And let's remove our finger from the button and it becomes 1 again. Perfect. So let's see if this is also sent via the network. And you see, we see here that I pressed it and then it came up again. So that's all you need to use PubSub client with PlatformIO on the ESP8266, and all the library management pane is automatically handled. The platform installation is automatically handled. So it takes some pain out of using the Arduino IDE, and it makes the programming itself much nicer because you get help and support of the commands that are available at your service, auto-completion, and follow into some libraries. So I highly suggest anybody who is becoming unhappy with Arduino IDE to try out PlatformIO, use it, and start building bigger projects based on PlatformIO. I use it myself for developing the C side of IoT Empower, and I don't look back to the Arduino IDE. Try it yourself and stay tuned, and see you soon again here in the IoT Empire. Ciao.